Alright, let's get started, shall we? Welcome to the stream, or the VOD, or whatever this is, whether you're watching now or watching later. We're gonna do some work on Thrall today. I am feeling way better than I have the last few days, so hopefully I should be able to get a fair bit more work done. I do have a bit of a time limit. I've only got about 2 hours, but hopefully I should be able to get some more maps done. Might do some work with some enemy design, but I'm mostly going to want to be working on some maps today, so let's jump into it and get this started. Okay, so I've got GIMP open here. Let's just go to our parallax mapping. That's the wrong one. There it is, parallax mapping. Now I have also added some more music to the playlist since it was way too short previously. It's still all Lake inspired because I know I can use it on YouTube and I'm not gonna have this VOD claimed by copyright, so. With that said, let's jump into it. Let's go with... Okay, let's open up our estate file here. Now, where were we with our configurations? Yeah, we finished A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. So I'll probably do D and E today. I may be able to get like a good 5 or 6 of these done today. I would like to finish, yeah, the D and E configurations because those, we only need one more of each. And I may actually do some variants today as well. Variants are something that's a little bit tougher to explain. But you know what? I can actually show you what I mean with variants through a different example. Let's go to the Bloodstone Mine, and let's open up A1. So this is room A1 in the Bloodstone Mine, but I do have variants with them as well. So variants basically are, instead of a wall taking up this collision space, I have water instead. And I have that in every corner. And it obviously requires a little bit more adjustment to make sure that the overlays are erased where need be and certain obstacles are removed that don't fit there. Like obviously this pickaxe is just floating in the water instead of leaning against a wall. This one's actually pretty clean. I didn't really need to make any adjustments there. But that's basically what a variant is. Instead of a wall taking up that spot where you can't walk, it's something else. For the estate, what I'm thinking of is a balcony. Looking down into a previous floor. And I'm not exactly sure how I want that to work yet, how I want it to look. I'm probably going to have a parallax in the background that kind of moves with the player so that it looks like you're looking down into the estate. But I'm not too concerned about working on the variants just yet. For now, why don't we... Yeah, let's do variant... Let's do configuration D2, and we'll go from there. So we'll just start by opening that up. We're going to save this right away as estate D2. And let's jump right into it. So let's start with our standard texturing. We're going to select the layer, shrink the selection, and feather it. We're going to switch to our, whoops, our dodge and burn tool, disable grid collision, and go back and forth, brush back and forth. That's burn, dodge, and do that twice. And give this base layer a little bit more texture. That's good. Okay. So, yeah, we're good there. Okay. What do we want to make this room? You know what? Let's turn this into... maybe a kitchen. Why not? Let's turn it into a kitchen. So I do have an entire layer group just for kitchens. So let's bring that up. What do we have here? We got some shelving with food. We've got different I'm not sure if I want to keep this song in the playlist. We'll see. I do have some various like kind of kitchen counters. They don't quite have the edge that I'm looking for on them though, and I may need to make some adjustments to that. But let's just start by bringing some stuff in and we'll figure this out. So my thought is let's kind of have it over this way. I'm going to bring in a bunch of these kind of countertops and see what we can make with them. Yeah, that's good for now. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, 2 sinks I don't think makes sense, but the one in the corner there works. Now here's the thing, those edges, they line up but kind of weirdly. Like right here there's kind of a light edge to the top of this one. This one looks like it should actually be angled down. And it does have a little bit more of a... Well, if anything, that... These tiles are a little bit odd. I'm not sure if I like them. See, that looks like it fits, but it also looks like this should be way off to the side, because it does have a little bit of transparency on the edge there. That just doesn't really fit very nicely. This one looks good, though. I think that connects nicely. Let's just see. Yeah, that looks pretty seamless. Now, let's see. That cutting board, that doesn't really fit there. We've already covered that we don't want a second sink. This could work. Nope. Look at that edge. That doesn't fit. That does not look good. Okay. Let's see here. I'll set that aside for now because I may be able to make some modifications to it, but if I can find one that fits nicely, that fits worse. Okay, you know what, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, I'm going to bring this in, and we're going to make some adjustments to it. So I'm going to get rid of that. So where is it that it doesn't feel like it fits? Right along this edge here. Well, what if we do this? What if we just take the 2 pixels on the edge of this, copy that, paste it over, and shuffle it to this side here? Wait, what? I was not selecting the right layer. There we go. Bring that over like that. Let's just merge those together and see what that looks like. That looks good. It's this side now that's actually problematic, this tile. So, let's do the same thing but from this side. Copy that, bring it over. I have to shuffle these layers around a bit. There we go. Merge them together. There, those countertops look a lot smoother. They look like they transition more naturally. There's a little bit of oddities to the shading on the edge here, but that's not too bad. No, that looks good. Okay, that's a good start. Obviously, we're going to need lots and lots of shelves containing food products and wines and all that stuff. Some spice racks. What is that? That's a cutting board with no table beneath it. Yep, I don't need to worry about those yet, but I will grab some like tables that I can bring in to kind of set aside, and we'll kind of work with it from that angle. But let's see. Now this here, I actually think I'm going to offset the grid. Let's set it to be a little bit narrower, because that looks, yeah, that looks better there. Just kind of set these. This one I'm actually going to move down a little bit here. There, I think that looks better. Okay, let's reset the grid. Hide those for now. Okay, that looks good for now. That's alright. Now, let's just see. Okay, these are... So these are like hanging racks of meats and herbs and spices and vegetables and stuff like that. But what are they going to be hanging from? That's the question. I may need to bring something in. Let's see, I am going to just bring these in and hide them because I'm going to use them later. I don't have anything like a scaffold layer. See, I'd like to have these hanging over the... like, over the place where the chefs or whatever would be working. Oh, I can get rid of that one. The only issue with that, I'm actually going to move this down. Maybe not. Nope. It's still not hanging off of anything, you know? Okay, I'm going to worry about those later. I'll come back to them. Let's see here. Lighting wall art storage. Here we go. There are some things that I want to bring in from storage. One of them is... where is it? Where is it? Seriously, where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, right at the top. Okay. Let's bring these in. I'm going to put that right in the corner. Shuffle that down a little bit. That looks a little bit too high. And I'll bring in another one of these, and we'll kind of tuck this down here beside the kitchen counter there. I think that looks good. Okay. And let's bring in a barrel as well. Maybe it's like a barrel of mead or wine or something like that. A barrel containing whatever else you're really concerned with. Okay, we're gonna shuffle that down a few pixels and then get rid of the bottom there. There, that looks good. I like that. Good. Okay, next up, I need some tables. So under the shelving, yep, this works. We'll bring this one in. And let's place it right in the middle. No. Yeah, I'll place it there, I think. Align that right to the top of the grid. And we'll actually do 2 of these, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to bring these in. One of these tables will have like a bunch of pots and pans and woks and all that stuff on there. I do have a category for food. Yeah, let's bring in a couple different tiles for that. That doesn't work. Nope. Let's see. Oh, no, there's a shelf full of bread there. Oh, sure, cheese wheels. Okay, and a little bit more. I also am going to want some lighting, so I do need to be a little bit careful about how much space I take up on those tables. You know what? That basket looks good. Let's bring this in. Put it up here. I'm trying not to have to create an overlay by having it go too high up there. Now, what I can do... Okay, that's good, I think. Lighting. We need a candle. We're going to bring this in, and we're going to set it... right there. Okay, just zooming out, how does that look? Not bad. I think that's okay. I'm gonna ignore those hanging racks. I don't think they fit with this particular layout. We're gonna bring in another light fixture and put this close to the entrance over here. And we're starting to get a little bit cluttered in the room, but not too bad, so I think that's okay. Here's a question. Should the player be able to walk on these tiles? Half the tile is exposed. And arguably the player's feet would be on the clear part of that tile. But it would be a little claustrophobic. Maybe what I'll do is actually for these here, I'm going to bump them down another 6 pixels or so. I believe that that looks like they're still believably resting against the wall. They're not really too far from the wall. You can see a little bit of a gap between them and the wall, but not absurdly so, while giving just enough space away to make it believable as to why the player can't step on those tiles. Yep, I think that's good. Okay, and actually I think this is good on its own. I'm not going to bring in any carpets for the flooring here, because if this is a kitchen, things get dropped. It's not going to... Wood will be easier to clean than carpets, I would imagine, so we aren't going to mess with that too much here. I think that's all we need, so let's bring in our light layer. I will hide that for now, and let's put together our overlay first. So we're going to need this, and these tiles. Copy paste, bring that into the overlay. And in the decor, there's actually not much we need for the overlay. I think it's just this lantern. So you know what, we'll actually have a little bit more fun with this. Here, I'm gonna take this, cut, paste, bring that into the overlay, and let's actually reposition these a little bit more believably. That, and I think we could even do the candle. Yeah. There. Now, that may not actually be high enough on the next tile up to really actually display behind the character. Like, it'll make sense when I actually demonstrate, but just to be safe, I'm going to include that in the overlay. Good. Okay. Alright, good. We've got our overlay in place. Yep. Collision is next. Okay, so the bottom is closed off. So, there we go. Might take the song out of the playlist too. We'll see. Okay, and the top, everything there is impassable except for directly to the right of the entrance. So, it's going to be there we go. Good. Yeah. Now, I think what I'm going to do is make it so the exit can spawn here, and then these two tiles will need to be blue so that there's nothing that can spawn behind it. So it's going to be blue, blue, and then green all the way across. Yeah. Yep. I may make this the chest, though, actually. So yeah, let's just do that. We'll take the chest, put that there, and I'm going to need to put a non-spawnable tile in front of it. Next, we've got 4 in a row. Ooh, and actually... No, that one's already blue. This one is not, so let's make that blue right now. It's going to be like that. Okay, next up we got 4 tiles in a row that are impossible. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the exit spawns here, the player's not going to be able to get through that, so I need to make this tile here non-spawnable. Yeah, the rest of that's fine, though. Okay. Next I've got 4 tiles in a row where no events can spawn because it's going to overlap on the table legs there for things like the exit. And the one at the very end of that row is impassable. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Next row down, no changes. And then again, 4 in a row that are impassable. Next row down, nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4 are impassable. There we go. Directly below that, a gap of 3 followed by 2 impassable tiles. I think I messed something up here. Let's see. The bottom right, that one's impassable. Okay, so, yep, I definitely messed something up here. Oh yeah, I know what I did wrong. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, just like that. There we go. That's our collision. Yep. Oh, but I do need to make this tile in the bottom corner impassable as well. There we go. Okay, that looks right. I'm not seeing anything there. Oh, this could potentially mess things up. If I get an exit spawning in here, then this entire section becomes impassable. Like nothing, it becomes completely inaccessible. So let's just do this. Let's take these 2 tiles and make it so that no exits can spawn there. Actually, all those as well. So the exit can spawn anywhere in here, but nowhere in there, and that way it's not going to block access to that part of the map. And to that end, actually, I'm going to switch those 2 tiles. So we can get an exit spawning here, but not here. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, good. What am I missing? I have a chest. I still need a spawn point for players and monsters. And you know what? Let's put it somewhere... Let's put it right here. So that would be that tile right there. Perfect. Okay, there's our collision data. That's good. Yep, the game will read that, that little section, and it will replace the tiles as it needs to. Good. Okay. Alright, that looks good, so let's add in our light map. So I need to bring this in, and let's position this over all of our light fixtures, all of our light sources. There we go, that looks good. Merge that into the layer, and then bring up our shadow layer. Grab our eraser tool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go, that should be good. Good, okay, let's bring it in, let's test it out, see how it works. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we're good there. Yeah, okay. So this is going to be AD2? No, wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Whoops, nope. State. Ground, A1, AB1, yeah, okay, no, I know what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. No, that's not what I meant to do. Reposition those, good. Okay, here we go. Yeah, AD2, that's the name of this configuration. So we're going to export that. We can hide that in our collision. We will bring that map over into here, replace the placeholder one that we had before, go into our overlay, and we're going to export the overlay. And AD2, this is going to go over here, replace the overlay, into our light layer, AD2. Replace, and finally our shadow layer. Okay, good. Now let's test. Okay, first things first, let me just expand the window size so you can see what's going on. And we are going to max out our level so that we can just turn on autokill and we don't have to worry about encounters. I'm going to set the debug room to 4 so that it should only generate rooms with the deconfiguration. And I'm going to turn up our state variable so that we can skip the intro sequence. I'm going to just quickly open and close a chest. Good, we're at max level now, so we can auto-kill enemies and we don't have to deal with that. Now debug mode is still on, so we're going to get the colored tiles displaying instead of the base layer, but that's okay. We can check our collision first and then see how the map looks after. Okay, and yeah, we are in the deconfigurations here, but let's just see if I can find... Here we go. Okay, here's the room that we just created. And it looks like... Yeah, this looks good. I'm not seeing anything that could be a cause for a problem. I just realized I didn't actually have to worry about blocking these tiles off because you could just skirt underneath. So I may fix that. Just make these 3 tiles spawnable for events. Yeah, I might do that. That's an easy fix though. But before I do that, let's actually just see what this looks like without the debug mode on, and see how it looks comparatively to the rest of the... just see how it fits in with everything else. So let's reload the floor. Okay, perfect. And we our player spawn point worked out just fine. We spawned in the right spot. Oh, this looks good. Yeah, it looks like our overlays are all in place properly. There's not really much to worry about with those, but yeah. No, I like it. I wonder if we can find one with a chest in here. Oh, perfect, right there. Okay. That's weird, it didn't generate an item. Oh, I know why. Yeah, that's nothing to worry about. Okay. No, I like it. That looks good. Okay, so that's one down. I am going to change that collision, though. So let's bring up our layer and our overlay again. And let's just go 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep these 2 blocked off so that there's no issues there, but an exit can spawn here and it's okay. The player can still kind of skirt around it through the other tiles where no events can spawn. So that's good. So just by changing those pixels and bringing the file over, that will fix our collision. I do want to test just to make sure. I'm not too worried about it causing any problems, but I want to make sure that I did get the right tiles in place there. I'm fairly confident I did, but never hurts to be sure. Debug room 4. State, turn that up. Debug on. Yep, that's good. Yep, no problems there. We're good. Okay, great. Sorry, one sec. Just let me fix something here. There we go, we're good. What did I do? Okay, no, we're good, we're good. Yep. Okay, that will do for D2. Let's do an E configuration, and then that should actually take care of all of our configurations for the first 5 letters. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I may be able to get all of F done as well. We'll see. We'll see. So let's go back to our estate here. Okay, we're gonna do configuration E this time. Save as estate E2. Good, okay. Now what do we want to turn this one into? Let's see, we've got 2 kitchens now, that's fine. There was something else that I didn't do. No, I did update those, that's fine. I'm not updating the ones that I have remaining though. So that number is not correct, but that's okay. Let's see, for this kind of configuration, maybe a library? A library or maybe a forge. A forge could be good, but I prefer to save those for corner rooms. Now let's do a library. Okay. So, first things first, let's add our texturing. Select, shrink, feather, dodge and burn, and add that little bit of texturing to the map. Good. Okay, next up, let's bring in whatever we're going to need for a library. I do believe I have a folder specifically for that. Maybe not. No, I don't think I do, actually. I do have one for books. We'll kind of bring that up, but I don't think that's not the same thing. I believe shelving is where I have, yep, some bookshelves. Okay, let's make good use of these. Let's see, we'll place one on each side of the entrance here. Why did I select that? There we go. And we will actually be positioning these kind of throughout, but first, I do believe I have... Okay, I do have these side-facing shelves. I'll probably use those. I do have the desks, but that's more for a study. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we'll make use of those for sure. Not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. Okay, let's bring these ones in. I'm just going to pull them out of this category for now. Yeah, because these are shelves with a bunch of books on them. That's kind of what we need. Now what I think I'm actually going to do... I'm going to shuffle these down by about 8 pixels. And then here's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to take the tops of these... and do that. So it kind of looks like there's a shelf, there's 2 shelves back to back. Yeah. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other one, and we're going to have these take up kind of the center of the room. There we go. Merge those together. Good. So, let's see. Let's bring... Okay, make sure my grid's on correctly there. That's good. Sort of like that. I don't know, that doesn't really fit with the other shelves though, does it? Not really. I'll think about that. I'm actually going to hide those for now. Let's actually see about... What would it be like if I was to do this here? Bring this one up. These tiny little rooms don't really make for great libraries because they're a little bit too tiny. That's the only problem. Oh, you know what? I have an idea. I have a table that I can bring in that I think would fit very nicely for this space. Where is it? That's the one. Yep. I'm going to bring this in. I kind of have to be careful how I position this. Like that there, it's going to be kind of weird that these tiles are now impassable. I would have to actually bring it down one. But if I put it too far off to the side, it's like, why is that not centered now? You know, it's something I could do. Nope, that's weird. Here's another idea. I should actually just hide that instead of deleting it, because I may change my mind here. Let's try this one. That's more like it. As a matter of fact, the texture of that is a little bit too detailed for me to extend the size of that table. But what I can do is I can kind of bring this down here, like that. Actually, you know what? There, I'll position it like that. These two tiles are now impassable, these two rows, but the player will be able to pass through behind the chairs there. That works. And let's go with... No, yeah, I don't need that anymore. Changed my mind. Let's bring these shelves... Actually, I'm going to get rid of both of these shelves, but I will bring these ones in. I'm going to bring them down, though, to about there. Yep, that should be good. I'm just going to copy the top of that. Let me just do that and see how that looks. There we go. That's kind of nice. Okay. No, that works. Still pretty barren, though. Let's bring in a carpet. That'll help. And then I'll see if I can bring in something like a... I'll bring in some books that I can put on the table, like books, scrolls, things like that. And we'll maybe do a little bit extra with that as well. Let's bring in a nice, luxurious carpet here. And it's going to be... Yeah, pretty much positioned directly underneath that table, but I'm going to extend it actually across the entire room. So we'll do this. I'm going to take... Oh, okay, hold on a sec. Let me do it this way. There we go. Align it with the grid. There we go. Good, okay. And now I'll shuffle that down. Perfect. That... I like it. Okay, good. I'm going to bring in some statues, because I do have this statue asset that I want to make use of. It looks a little bit out of place, but it makes sense in context of the dungeon, because one of the signature enemies of this dungeon is gargoyles that look like these things. But if you get close to them, they burst out and they chase you down. They're stone gargoyles that turn into creatures. So having some of these scattered throughout different rooms that look benign, that don't chase you, can kind of put players off their guard, or maybe more on their guard. And maybe they think, oh, that's a monster, and they get close, it's like, oh, no, it's not. But then one that they see is like, oh, that just looks like part of the decoration. They get close, it's like, oh, nope, that's actually a monster. So, let's see. Yeah, I'll put one of these like right next to the entrance, just one though. And then I'll probably have like that be the spawn point for a chest. And, okay, we need lighting, we need some books and scrolls. So let's grab a candle first and foremost. We're gonna put that right on the edge of the table, right there. And let's grab, where is that books? There it is, it's right at the top, I moved it, yep. Okay, we'll bring that up there, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to... Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Let me select this table. I'm going to select this part here, copy and paste. Yep, that's what I need. I'm going to make that selection, move that book in place there, And now what I can actually do is position the selection over top of the chair in front. I need to turn off grid snap. There we go. There, and now I can make it so that the chair is positioned so that it's... Yep, that's good. I'm just going to hang on to this layer for now so that I can use it later, because there's going to be more of that. Let's see. Let's bring it into the book here. Yeah, put that one there. That's good. Move it down a bit more. Turn off the layer and reposition this over here. Good. Turn that layer back on. Good. Excellent. There we go. Okay, a little bit more. Are there like scrolls? Okay, kind of assorted papers. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah, let's take this, bring that in. I'm going to position that right here. And let's bring in like one more. Oh, nice. That's good. I'll put that right on the edge of the table there, and I'm going to see if I can actually change the coloring on that a little bit. Make it so it doesn't blend in with the table quite so much. Oh, actually, yeah, that just straight up. There we go. I like it. And now we have ourselves a decent looking little library. Nothing too extravagant, nothing too crazy, but it works. I'm gonna get rid of this. And do I want to bring in like one more wall shelf? Nope, but I do need to bring in another light fixture. Just something that I can put right here, maybe? Down one more. Oh, right there. Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, good. All right, it's come together. Let's bring in our light layer just so that I can collapse our resources folder. I'll hide that for now. Let's get our overlay put together first. And then once the overlay's in place, we can look at... Yeah, once the overlay's in place, then we can do the lighting and the shading, and the shadows. Okay, and the collision, of course. Okay, for the overlay, first things first, the room layer. Ah. There we go. Copy and paste that, bring it up here. Good, okay. And for the decor, there's not a lot that we need. I need the chairs from the table here, and I need this torch. But I think that's it. Oh, and the bookshelves at the bottom. So that can go up here. And actually, for the bookshelves, I can just straight up move them in. There's no base to it that I need to... There we go. Okay, there's our overlay. Perfect. Alright, let's look at our collision now. Okay, so 2 impassable tiles, followed by a chest tile, followed by 3 impassable tiles. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, red with blue in front of it, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I do need to take this tile in here and turn it blue, because if the exit were to spawn there and a chest were to spawn there, you would not be able to get into the room. Beyond that, a full row of no changes, 3 tiles, and then 4 rows of impassable, or non-event tiles. So, full row, no changes, 2, 3, 4. because those are the backs of the chairs. Yeah. Makes sense. Directly below those chairs, we have 2 rows of impassable tiles, and no other changes. Just like that. And I think I may be missing something here. I think I made a mistake. But if so... Okay, that's not lining up properly, but I could not tell you why. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, yeah, there we go, that's right. Oh, okay, nope, I know exactly what I did wrong, yep. This entire row is supposed to be 1 higher. There we go, like that. There we go. That's better. Okay, this is where the lantern is placed. Yep. And then down here, it's just the 2 tiles on either corner there that need to be impassable with a non-spawnable tile directly above. There we go. And that should be our collision. Now the last thing we need is a spawn point for a player or enemy. I could make... You know what? I think I'm going to switch some things around. I'm going to make it so that the player or enemy can spawn right here in this tile, and then if we get a gargoyle spawning in that spot, it will provide the symmetry between these 2 in a way that may put a player off guard, and they may not recognize that one of them is hostile. I'm going to try that. Let's see. So... to do that, I'm going to need to move the... Yeah, I'm going to need to move the chest. I just want to make sure that I... No, that is good. Yep, nothing else needs to change there. I think I may just put the chest right here. It's a bit weird putting it in front of the bookshelf, but I don't know where else I could really put it that would make sense. I could maybe put it over here, but that looks even worse. Yeah, maybe not. Actually, let's try that one. Let's put the chest there with a non-spawning tile in front, and okay, that's our collision. This is our map. Okay, we've got our overlay, we've got our collision, good. Let's set up our light layer. So let's bring this in. Position those there. This one here. Hold on, wait. Merge them all together. Just get rid of the corner of that one there. That looks a little bit more sensible. Yeah, that makes more sense. Good. Okay, now for our shadow layer, bring up our eraser tool and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't really change anything. It's in the center of the room anyway. Okay. And I think we're good. Alright, let's export this, let's bring it into the game, let's give it a test, see how it looks. So, hide the light layer, we got our collision, we got everything in place, good. Okay, this is AE2. And over here, ground, yep. Drag that in. Overlay. AE2, good. Our light layer. And our shadow layer. Good, okay, that should be everything. Let's give it a test. See how it looks. Alright, let's increase our window size, and same as always, debug room. This time we're going to set it to 5, so we only get E configurations. Increase our estate variable, make sure that that's turned up properly. One more thing, debug. Good, okay, let's test. Okay, that looks like the room there. Yep. Oh, jeez, and we actually got a gargoyle spawning in that spot. I didn't even notice until we got close. That's kind of what I wanted, though, actually, is something that you don't recognize until it's right in your face. But yeah, okay, that's good. It looks... Yeah, our collision looks like everything loaded in properly. Nothing, no mistakes there. Yeah, no, that looks good. I'm not seeing anywhere where there's any potential mistakes. Nope, that looks good. Okay, so let's turn debug mode off and see what that looks like without the colored tiles. Yeah. Not bad. No, I like it. That looks good. And you can kind of see, actually, there's two rooms side by side here, where there's the gargoyle that spawned in that enemy event tile next to the benign one. So if you get close, yeah, it'll burst out and attack you, but you wouldn't realize it until you actually got within range. And it's easy to confuse for one that's just a regular old statue. Ah, and here's a room with a chest spawned in. You know, that looks fine. I think that placement is fine. Okay, good. There's another room. Done. And with that, that finishes off all of the first 5 configurations. I don't have to revisit those anymore. Now we can move on to some of the more fun ones, either the hallways, the corners, or the dead ends. And those kind of make for more interesting room types, I find. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, let's just bring everything back into visibility here. We'll save this configuration. Part of me is wanting to switch to something else, but that's also because I'm lazy and I like procrastinating. That's the reason why I haven't gotten this game done yet, is because there's things that are more fun. Let me just make sure everything's... Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Okay. Let's see. I could potentially put in a legendary shard as well. I might need to take the song out of the playlist as well.
Things coming to me that I wanted or whatever. Drive home and think, well, I do have these things. They're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there. I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered.
Now let's do another map.
Okay. 5 years or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million in dollars.
Okay. Yeah, let's do a couple of the F configuration maps. These ones are... I could probably get all 3 of these done, because I've got 1 already. I could finish off these, and then I would just need to move on to these ones here. And then from there it's... well, I wouldn't say smooth sailing from that point on, but it definitely is. It gets easier the further down the list you go. Okay, yeah, let's just do it. Okay, we can say that we've got a second library here. I do want to put in another forge, but again, I want to save that for a corner room. I don't really think it makes sense to do a forge in a room shaped like this. If anything, this would be better as like just like a sitting room, or as like a well-decorated hallway, maybe a gallery. A gallery could work. A gallery could work. Ooh, I have an idea. I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know if this is actually gonna look good or not. First, let me actually save this as a copy. And this is gonna be F2. Okay, we're gonna go... I'm just gonna see what I can do. Here. I have an idea, and I'm just going to see if it works. Might almost be better off doing... No. Oh, shoot. What have I done? There we go. That's better. Okay. No, that makes more sense. Okay. Now let's take that there and this here. Bring those into place. I don't necessarily like reshaping the rooms very much, but it makes sense for something like this. Now, the only thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of... I'm going to make the walls a little bit shorter. And this is going to be sort of like an art gallery type room. And then we'll just have like paintings and stuff hanging on the walls. I'll have some statues. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. So I need... that there. This here. Good. This here. This here. Good. Okay, that's good. Now let's do our texturing. So select, shrink, feather, dodge and burn, disable grid. That's better. Yep, nope, that's some good texturing there. All right, let's bring in some artwork. I'm actually going to make a separate category for this. I'm just going to call it Gallery. And I'm going to just say that we have made one, even though it's not done yet. Yeah. Okay, a carpet makes sense. Let's bring in a... Ooh, I like that one, actually. Let's bring this carpet in here. And we're going to have this span the length of the room. Like so. And actually, I can bring this one tile further down, like so. There we go. Good. There we go. Okay, we got a carpet spanning the length of the room. I am going to do the same thing with this, just giving it a little bit more texturing. Make it kind of look like in the center it's a little bit darker where it's been a little bit more trodden on. Yeah. Okay, now let's bring in... Ooh, do I want to bring in the statue here? I think I do, but before I do, let's bring in the wall art layer, because there's a lot I can do with this. Well, there's actually, like, there's one massive painting somewhere in here. Okay, that's a map. There it is. Okay, we're going to bring this one in first, and we're going to have that on this side here. Oh, that one's probably good too. I'll bring that in. And maybe... yeah, this here. Just lower the placement of that a bit. There, good. Okay. Good. Yeah, not worried about the banners. So I'm gonna have two... I'm gonna have a few that aren't gonna make it into the final one here. Let's see. Let's bring this one in. And again, I'm gonna lower the placement of that, kind of center it on the wall. And likewise for this one. Nice. Okay, let's bring in not the gargoyle statue, but instead, I think it's in the armaments one. I have, yeah, these armor stands. Let's bring these in. And we'll position them right in the center here. Come on. Yep. Just like so. Good. Now, with this being a gallery, it needs to be well lit. So we're going to bring in our regular light fixtures, but we're going to place one basically in front of every wall, just like that. And I think that'll do. I don't think I need to worry too much more about anything else. I like this. I think this looks good. So let's... yeah, let's do our overlay next. Alright. All the torches can just go directly into the overlay, because there is no base to them that we need to worry about. These, on the other hand, we need to cut and paste. And I think that's good. Okay. Alright, next up is our collision. Overlay's looking good. So for the collision, first things first, let's just set the collision as it would be default for this room configuration. And so no change here. Second and second last spot in is non-spawnable. Oops, there we go. And then 2 tiles on either side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles down. 2, 3, 4 are completely impassable, just like that. Good. Okay, from the lanterns, the next one down, there's 2 impassable tiles flush against the wall, or sorry, non-spawnable tiles flush against the wall, followed by an impassable tile. I completely messed that up. I'll fix it, though. So directly below that, we got 1, 2, 1, 2, impassable, impassable. These should be passable but non-spawnable, because you can walk in this tile. You can walk behind the wall there. That's good. I think I'm going to put a chest in front of one of these armor stands, because that's the most fitting, sensible place that I can think of for it. So right there. Okay, no changes in this row here, and then here we've got 2 torches. Directly below them would be impassable, and the rest is normal. And those are 2 tiles offset from the exit. So it would be 1, 2, 1, 2. There. That should be good. For the spawn point, what do I want to do for the spawn point? I'm actually thinking just put it right in the center of the room. The only problem with that is if a gargoyle spawns there, there's absolutely no way to avoid it. You have to fight it. That's not a bad thing, though. Yeah, sure, let's do it. I'll put it right there. And I think that's it for our collision. That's all we need. Yep, that looks right. Okay, good. Okay, so there's our collision, there's our overlay. Let's do our light layer next. That's fairly straightforward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't need to be perfect. It kind of blends in once it renders in the game anyway. Good. Okay, there's our light layer and our shadow layer. 1, 2. Oh, wrong layer. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. No, don't think I've forgotten anything. So, okay, let's bring this out. Export it, bring it into the game, give it a test. AF2. Let's work in our ground folder here. There we go. Okay, that's our base layer. Here's our overlay. Good, okay, light layer is next. Sorry, I think I keep bumping the microphone, I'm not meaning to. There we go, that's the light layer and the shadow layer, here we go. All this is for the sake of procedural generation, which I'm really happy I was able to figure out how to make that system work. At the same time, it gets tedious after a while. I'm really happy with the result, it's just the actual making of the maps gets really tedious. Okay, alright. Let's give this a test. So, increase our window size. Same as always. So this time it's, hold on, A, B, C, D, E, F. Yep. Let's see. Turn our state variable up so we skip the intro sequence. Turn the debug mode on. Max out our level. And let's give this a test. No, it spawned right in. Perfect. Okay. Collision looks good. It seems to be working the way that it should. I'm not seeing anywhere that could potentially cause problems. Oh, nope. Right here, these two tiles need to be passable but non-spawnable. Otherwise, if we can exit spawning right here, you can't get to the other side of the room. Same with right here. This one is fine because you can skirt around it, but this tile and this tile, these two tiles need to be passable and non-spawnable tiles. Other than that, I think everything else is fine. Yeah. Okay, let me fix that now. So let's reopen our collision layer, go back here, and change those two. That should be good. Yeah, okay, good. Let's export that map and see if that fixes the problem. Okay, load it in. Okay, increase the window size. Debug room is A, B, C, D, E, F. Good. The estate variable, turn it up by 2. Debug on, max out our level. And let's see. Did that fix the problem? Okay, well these are... Here we go. Nope, that's a different one. Here we go. Yes, that should be fine. Yeah, because we can get an exit spawning here, and that's fine. You can go around it. Same with here. You can go around it. We're not going to get anything spawning in these tiles that could potentially block access to the other side of the room. Nope, that is good. Okay, let's turn the debug mode off and see what that looks like without all the colored tiles. See if I can find the exit. There it is. Let's see if I can also get one spawning with a chest in that room so that we can see what that looks like too. There's quite a few more variants that could potentially spawn, so we may need to load in a couple different... load a couple more floors to actually get an example of the exact room we're looking for. It didn't generate it all on this floor. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Got ourselves a little art gallery type room. The collision seems to be good. Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. Okay, good. I'm not seeing a chest anywhere in a room with that configuration, though. So let's just try loading one or two more floors and see if we get it. If we do, great. If not, I'll just move on. Oh, it's going to look so much better when all these configurations are done, but for now, it's just chipping away, bit by bit. Okay, where's the exit? I'll do one more floor, and if I don't see a chest spawn into one of those rooms, then I'll just move on. Okay, well, we got the room generating, but I'm not seeing a chest. No, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing very many chests at all, though, so it could be that it just didn't roll a high enough number. So let's try forcing those chests to actually appear. Yeah, only one of those chests I think actually appeared, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn these all the way up. Okay, no. Well, it didn't spawn in either of those rooms. That's okay. Yeah, we got all our chests spawning in. You know, just for fun. Let's open this, see what's in here. A glitched item that wasn't supposed to be there, and an item that we used to open the chest in the first place. Lovely. Okay, alright. Well, that's a good start. Okay. So, that gives us 2 of the F configurations. Do we want to just knock the rest of these out right now and not have to come back to this room configuration anymore, or do we want to maybe transition to something different? You know what, actually, I had an idea for a another shard that we could implement into the game, and it might be nice to take a little bit of a break from mapping. I say that as I've only done 3 maps today. I've got like over 100 of these to do, so I need to focus in on this a bit more. No, if I'm going to be as productive as possible, I need to do more maps. As much as it's maybe a bit tedious, it is what needs to get done to bring this game closer to the finish line. So, let's do some more maps. I'm just going to get the rest of the F maps done. I think I should be able to get all that done before I end the stream. I have until about 5:45, so I've still got about another 45 minutes or so, 45 minutes. Should be able to get 2 more maps done. So let's just get that done. And then that'll be really good progress. Then I won't have to worry about coming back to that anymore. So let's start by saving this as F3. And I'm gonna keep the layout the same, and then we'll just kind of decorate it a little bit differently. So we'll select, shrink, feather, dodge and burn. Let me select the layer and give it the texture that it needs. Break up the monotony of the tile set just a little bit. Give it a more weathered look. That's good. Okay. Alright, what do we want to do for this room? We could do... The last one that I did of this, like the very first configuration I did, was similar to the art gallery. It was more just kind of like a walk-through hallway. Let's maybe turn this into more of a sitting room. So... let's find some seating. I've got some like really comfy looking couches. Let's make use of these. That is a weird placement for those tiles. I think that's good. Let's see. You know what, let's space this out a little bit further, like that, and we'll put a table in between those two. So we'll go shelving, I think is where I've got my tables. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I actually don't space them out at all, and I just make it so that the player can't walk through that. Yeah, no, that's fine. In which case, we'll actually move this table over, center it a bit more. It's going to be a little bit weird for the player, like it's going to be very restrictive. This whole corner is basically going to be blocked off. You can't walk there at all now. But that's okay. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, what have I done? Nothing that any of you can see, but it's second monitor stuff. Okay. There we go. We'll put like a nice flower arrangement of some kind there. Let's see. I used that one last time. That's nice, but it's a little obtrusive. No, that's good, actually. We'll bring that one in. Come on. Sure. I just had a thought. I'm going to bump this one up a little bit further, and I'll do the same with the table. Because now I can make it so the player can at least walk behind the couch. It's a little less restrictive that way. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. In this little corner here, let's maybe go put up some... See, this is where I can use these kind of slightly different style bookshelves. I'm going to reposition those in a second here. GIMP can be so slow to use sometimes. Okay, let me adjust my grid for a quick second here, and we're going to drop that by about another 8 pixels. About halfway between. Good. No, I think that looks good. Let's see. Okay, and then we'll set up just a small... Actually, better yet, rather than having these two chairs facing each other, I'm going to get rid of this one, I'm going to take this one, I'm going to move it up here, and position it, yeah, right there. That's good. But I will grab a small table. I think I've got a little round one here. Where is it? There it is. Perfect. Let's bring this in. Put that right next to the comfy chair. Bump it up a touch. And in our plants section, let's grab that nice fancy blue looking one. There it is. And place that right on the table there. Actually, I'm going to bump that back down. There. You know what, rather than blue... no, blue's fine. Okay. Good. Now, down in this space here... Ooh. Little bearskin rug. I'm going to have to put that at the bottom of the layers. That actually maybe fits a little bit better up there. Still gotta figure out what I want to do with this entire bottom half of this room. Let's see here. Oh, I know. Let's bring in this table I didn't want to use before. Maybe. Maybe. Nope, that does not feel right. Okay, Ooh, oh, there's an idea. Let's start with some side-facing shelves. This one actually up here. There we go. Yeah, have it kind of overlapping with the couch there. And then I will actually, I do have some more seating that I can use here that would fit nicely. Where is it? Not those, that's the one. Let's bring this in and set it right there. And then down in this corner, I think what I'll do, check my shelvings again. I'm looking for something specific. I don't think I... No, it's not in this tile group. That's okay. Let's bring this in. And we'll set this down over here. There we go. Bump that down a touch. Good. And you know what? Ooh, actually, I like that one better than this one. I prefer that. Okay. And where was I? There we go. That's what I'm looking for as well. I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to position it in front of the entrance here. I'm going to try to position it somewhat carefully. Why am I messing around with it? Just set my grid coordinates better. There we go. Hide those corners. There we go. Yeah, that's not bad. There is one very important thing that I'm missing, though, which is lighting. I always forget the lighting until the very end. Okay. I could put a candle on that table. But no, I think I'm gonna bring this one in instead. This can go... I could do one on each side. No, I'm gonna put that one there. I will actually put a candle on that table. Good. Okay, I like it. That's good. Let's bring in our light layer, and I think that'll do it for this one. So, let's see, for our decor, what do we need for overlays? That's the... Yeah, let's maybe actually do the overlay first. Start with the room. I just need this bottom part here, minus the center. Copy and paste. Bring that up for our overlay. Come on, all the way, all the way. There we go. And I'm gonna need this here. I can actually just take that whole layer. I'm gonna need the very top of this layer. I don't think I need anything here, do I? No, I do, because technically this only takes up one tile space. So the top here actually will appear over the head of the player. The player should be able to walk behind that. I think that's it. Good, okay. So there's our overlay. Yeah. Alright, now for the light layer. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Okay, let's position these over all the light sources. Good. Merge, merge. Merge, come on. Oh, I gotta make that visible. There we go. Oh, that explains. I thought I hid the light layer, and it turns out I hid the wrong one. There we go. Good, okay, shadow layer. 1, 2, wrong one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And collision. Last part. Okay. The very top. 3 on the left, 2 on the right are impassable. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now, let's actually just maybe go in a circle. We'll go around the perimeter. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so 3 rows of 3 that are impassable. So 1, 2, 3 rows that are impassable. I don't want events spawning on these tiles here, but they are passable. So it'll be 3 blue, and then below that 1, 2, 3 that are impassable. So while I've got the impassable tile selected, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just like that. Good. That should be all I need for that. Now, okay, on the right side here, I've already got the 2 impassable tiles here. I don't think I want to make any events spawning on top of the bearskin rug, because if you get the exit spawning there, it's going to look really, really weird. So we'll probably go... Oh, I missed something. It's probably close to the bottom. This one here. This needs to be part of the overlay. There we go, that's better. Okay. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, and an impassable tile. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, impassable. There we go. That looks right. The one directly below the chair is also impassable, followed by passable non-spawnable, followed by 2 impassable, passable non-spawnable, impassable. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. So it'll be 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. And I think that's it. That's all I need for the collision. Now we just got to figure out where do we want to put a chest and where do we want the spawn point for the player to be. I think the chest we can put just right up in the corner here. That's fine. Yeah, that works. So we'll put the chest there, and the spawn point for the player we'll put maybe just right in the center here, just by the yeah, so let's see, that would be directly across from that impassable tile there. Right there. Good. Okay, I think that's it. That's all the collision for this map. Yep, that looks right. Is there anything that could potentially break? Yes, this needs to be... Yeah, if an exit spawned here and a chest spawned there, you wouldn't be able to get through there, so that's gotta change. Exit could spawn there, you can still get around. Same with there. Yep, nope, I think we are good now. Okay, good. Good, okay. Alright, let's export it, see how it works. AF3. Blech. Export that into the ground layer. Yeah, there we go. That's... For the overlay. I don't need the collision as part of that. Doesn't matter one way or the other, but it's just cleaner if I don't include the collision. For the light layer, and now for the shadow layer. Good, okay, let's test. Same as always. Ooh. That's a rare weapon, to say the least. Literally one of the rarest weapons in the game, but it's in a debug chest. It's kind of designed to appear there. Not very commonly, but it does. Okay, that was our old one. That's the first one we did. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Collision looks good. I'm not seeing anywhere that it could be a problem. No, I think that... Yeah, as far as our collision data looks, that seems correct. That seems accurate. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that could cause any problems. because anywhere an event can spawn, you can get around it without needing to interact with it. Okay, let's turn debug mode off and see how that looks without the debug tiles. Oh, perfect, we spawned right in. You know, not bad. It's a little bit open, but not in a bad way. You know, not everything needs to be super condensed and restrictive. Sometimes less is more. No, that's fine. Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's do a quick look around, see if we can find a chest spawning in that room. I'm not seeing anything right away. And I am seeing enough chests around that we likely wouldn't find one if we changed any variables, but let's reload a room. Ah! Okay, well that's what the chest looks like in the room we did previously. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. It's not great, but it's certainly not the worst placement. Oh, here we go. Okay, and that's a chest in this room. It does look like it's a little bit away from the wall, but I think it's okay. It's out of the way, at least. Yeah. Nope, I like it. That's good. Okay. I got time for one more, so... You know what? Let's just knock out the rest of the F configurations. I've got one left to do. Let's get the last one done. So I'm going to save this, close that, go back here, and open up our template. Save it as... Oops. Let's try that again. Save it as F4. Okay, and for the last F configuration, let's see, this is kind of a... That was our fourth sitting room, but that's fine. I'm thinking... like a little bit of a condensed storage room. I'm thinking like a storage room, but stuff everywhere, making it a little bit harder to navigate and work your way around. I'm actually thinking of an example of a map in my mind from the... Okay. I'm actually thinking of a room in the Pirates lair from Majora's Mask. When you're kind of sneaking around these little barrels and stuff. I'm thinking of a room like that. It does not make any sense for a room like that to exist there, but it does, and it's going to be the same thing here. So, let's start with our normal texturing. A little bit more reckless with this one, but that's fine. Gives it a bit more of a rustic. Or, not rust. Oh, sorry, one second. Oh, sorry about that. Just had something stuck in my throat. Something scratchy. I don't know. I'm good now. I'm hoping I don't have to have a coughing fit like that again. Oh, jeez. Okay. Still kind of sick. I'm a lot better than I was the last few days, but yeah, still on the recovery. Okay. So for this, we're gonna need... Oh, okay, sorry, one sec. Oh, okay, again, sorry about that. Oh, I'm missing actually a good song. I want to replay that one. Sorry. I like this song. Okay, here we go. Alright, so for this storage room, we're going to want to bring in quite a bit of obstacles, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do. Yeah, we're going to make this really cluttered and kind of give it a bit of a zigzag type layout. And there's just going to be a bunch of stuff lying around. Put that basket on top of there, that's fine. Actually going to run out of things that I can use for decor, so I'm going to have to, for my storage, so I'm going to have to start duplicating layers here. That's okay. I don't need that layer. Okay. I'm gonna bring a statue and I'm gonna just kind of place it there. Because again, I do want those to be kind of scattered throughout the... scattered throughout certain places in the manor, just random ones that are benign and not hostile. Okay, I'm pretty sure treasure just is anything that actually goes on tables and stuff like that. Yeah. Now, I could still make use of some of this, like these here. I'll bring this in and I'll put that on top of this little crate. There we go. That's nice. Okay, now let's start again from the bottom, and we're gonna... we're going to start bringing in a few more of our pre-existing layers. Oops. Yeah, let's see here. I'm looking for one in particular. We'll take this one. We'll put that... yeah, up in the corner there. And let's see, let's go with a, yeah, that one there. Just kind of down in front like that. And where's that? There, that one there. Let's bring this one in as well. We'll put one of these up here. I'm actually going to kind of put it a little bit down. Yeah, that actually is fine, because I got the basket there. I'm going to be blocking off that layer anyway. Okay. It's kind of just a chaotic, scrambled mess. That's the point. Now, last thing I want to do, under wall art, let's see if I can bring in kind of like a torn or ruined banner. Okay, it's not really ruined, but it's... No, that's fine. We'll put one of those on each side. I'm not sure if I like the green. Let me just see what that would look like if I were to change it. Yeah, I've got a little bit of extra notes. So I'd have to... Okay, well, let me just take a quick look. So let me cycle through some colors. Yeah, no, green works. Okay. Okay, last thing I need is lighting. Where's my lighting? Oh, right there. I think I literally had my mouse hovering over it. Okay, now this... I'm just gonna put this one right up here. Yep. Yep, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. Okay, our light layer, we're gonna bring that in. Good. And on our shadow layer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Good. Okay, now for our collision. This one's going to be a little bit more complex, a little more in-depth. Oh, I should maybe do the overlay first. But also... There it is. You know what? There, that's better. Okay, yeah, let's do the overlay first. There's not a lot that I need to worry about. Things that I do need to worry about, I want to make sure that I get right. Yeah, I should probably get that as well, just to be safe. Yeah, those are the bottom two. Okay, this one here. I can just take that entire layer, bring it into the overlay, and this one here. There we go. Good. Okay, that's our overlay. Now for our collision. Okay, so from the top of the room, 1, 2, 2, and 2. This will make sense in my mind. So it's going to be 1, 2, 2, 2. I'm going to do impassable first, then I'll do everything else. That is entirely passable. And then it's 3, 2, and 2. Passable, 3, 2, 2. Good. 1, 2, 2, 2, and then an entire row with 1 at the end. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 1 at the end. Good. And And the next row is 1, 4, and 2. 1, 4, 2, good. 1 directly below the far edge of the row above. And down here, it's just 1 here. And then 1 and 2 in the corners. Okay. So 1, 1, 2. Good. Okay. That is all our impassable tiles. Right off the bat, I'm going to make some decisions as to... I'm going to put a chest here. Yep, so the chest should spawn right here. And we'll make the player spawn point somewhere... Actually, I'm going to do the passable non-spawnable tiles first. Okay, so right next to that, that's 1, and then 1 on the end there. So it's going to be 1 there, 1 there. Not much. 2 there and 1 there. Yep. Okay, good. Now let's see. With the way this collision works, even if I had an exit spawn here, there's a way around. So I'm not too worried about that, but I am going to make sure nothing can spawn at this particular crossroad so that you can still access this tile here. Same with there. And those there. And I think that's good. I don't see anywhere else that it could potentially block player access. So the next thing, I'll see it better a little bit when I actually test the map. I think I'm going to make the player spawn point right there. We'll just go right there. Good. Okay, there's our collision. There's our map. Good, that's the last of them. So let's just export this, AF4. Blah! What have I done? There we go. Ground. Ah, stop it. Okay, are we good? We're good. Alright. God, don't you just love Windows 11? Isn't it just great? Isn't everything about Windows 11 just make you so happy all the time? Alright, here we go. Okay, that's the overlay. Let's get our light layer. The nice thing is that these files, there's a lot of them, but they're small. Like that light layer is literally less than 2 kilobytes. So that, it's kind of nice that, yeah, there's literally thousands upon thousands upon thousands of files in this game, but they're all very small. The overall file size is still probably going to be less than, like, just a couple gigs at the most. Okay, there we go. That's all of our layers there. Let's save that, and let's go into Thrall and test it out, see how it looks. Okay, I'm just gonna skip this song. It's this one too. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna adjust my playlist as we go here. Okay, well that's the window. We got the window size blown up here. Okay, so we're gonna set the debug room to room F. Turn up our state variable for testing here. Turn on our debug chest and max out our level. And let's see how this looks. Oh, okay, well we spawned right in, that's good. And wouldn't you know it, the exit spawned in as well in a place that would normally block access, but because we have it being a loop, we can get around, that's good. And just looking at the collision data, I'm not seeing anything that's particularly wrong about any of this. This all looks fine. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything that would be problematic here. And it seems like the collision has everything set properly, that's good. No, that's good. Okay, let's turn off debug mode and let's see what it looks like without the colored tiles. Let's see if we can find that room. Here it is, perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's just a great big cluttered storage room. Not much really else more to it than that, but it works. And as far as actually navigating the dungeon goes, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more interesting than literally just walking straight through a room that's nicely decorated, but doesn't really do much to actually obstruct your navigation abilities. Oh, and here's a room with one of these rooms with a chest in it. That's perfect. No, I like that. That's good placement. Yeah, and the shadow layers and the light layers seem to have loaded in properly. The overlays are all in place. No, it's good. I like it. Okay, well that's good. We knocked out pretty much every A and F, D, E, and F configuration for this dungeon today. That's good progress. I am running out of time though, because I have somewhere I need to be at about 6:15. It is 5:45 where I'm at right now, so I'm gonna have to call it a stream here. But there we go. Okay, that was good progress though. I'm glad I was willing to sit down and just focus on something productive instead of procrastinating and doing things that don't matter. So, there we go. Getting closer. I'm really wanting to get this dungeon finished. By the end of the year would be great. If I can get this dungeon finished and maybe even one more by the end of January, I'm going to see about uploading a new demo. It probably won't include the dungeons. It might. I don't know. I don't want to go too much further with the story in the demo. Otherwise, this isn't a game demo. It's an episodic game where I'm just uploading new episodes. That's not the point. The demo is just to show what the game's about. So I'm probably not going to include the new dungeons in the demo, but I will include the new shard system, and I would like to have that fully in place by the end of the year. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that's going to do it for today's stream. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you did, or if you caught the VOD, then thanks for catching the VOD. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. So thanks so much, and I'll catch you next time.